What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you back to more Let's Play Animal Crossing and New Horizons. And welcome back to Moreau, everybody. It's actually been several days since the last episode. In fact, I want to say it's been exactly an entire week. But we are here, and we are back. And I have a confession to make, but I also have a plan. I haven't actually done a whole lot to the island since the last time that we were here. Well, at least I should say in terms of its infrastructure. Well, yeah, I guess that's not true. I haven't done a lot when it comes to decorating the island, I should say. However, what I have been doing over the past week is been compartmentalizing and moving every single villager around to their quote-unquote assigned location. So as we walk around the plaza here really quickly, and yes, Flick is here, but actually the bug off is over. It is past 6 o'clock, so we're not focusing on that today. We already focused on the bug off in a previous episode. It just happens to be that today. No. Instead, we're going to be focusing on the island itself and talking about various things. But notice how every single one of my villager homes is in a set and assigned location. Now, that is with one exception. In fact, we can go up here too, and you can see that there's more over here. So I got like special fence lines for everybody. Some of them are decorated, some are not. Still waiting for this one. I actually put down this last plot today. This is Kyle's house. He's going to be going here right next to Vivian, actually, given that they are very chummy together. I figured that it only makes sense to put them close. But no, there's actually one villager that is the odd one out, and I do really feel bad for her, but it's just kind of the way that it's all fallen into place, and she is off not too far away from everybody, but yeah, Apple is still right here. Now, we're going to talk about villagers here in a moment, because I need to actually get to like interacting with them more throughout the series, and I'll do a little bit of that today. A little bit of that, but I want to talk about the town layout here really quickly as we start to sort of finalize some things here. So first things first, that's Kyle's house up on the top right now. So he's been there the entire time. That's going to be emptied out. And then Apple is obviously over here, but everyone else will be in an assigned spot. So I've got a smug villager. Let's go with the guys first. We got the smug villager here. We got the jock villager in Bill. We got our lazy villager in Cranston. And then we got our grumpy villager in Angus. For the girls, we've got our sisterly villager in Agnes. We've got a snooty villager in Blair and also one in Vivian. We've got a normal villager in Marina. And then we got two peppies in Apple and Tangy. Now, I hate to say this to anybody who's a fan of Apple, but Tangy has like really grown on me since she moved in here, just because she's such a freaking riot. I mean, all the peppies are the same, to be sure. Like, I'm not about to say that, oh, it's vastly different. It's not. But she's a riot, and I love her expressions. She's kind of always given that like side-eye look, just with the way that her face is actually designed. It just, I don't know, there's something about it that just, she's freaking hilarious. I love Tangy so much. I love Apple too, but we have two peppies and we have two snooties, and right now we have an imbalance of guys to girls of 4 to 6, although I guess if you want to be pedantic, it's 5 to 6. And I'm trying to decide about like who I want to replace, because honestly, at this point, I'm on the fence with two villagers right now, that being Apple and Angus at this point. And even Angus, it's like if I'm going to replace him, I'm just going to replace him with a different cranky villager. So is that really something I need to do? Probably not, but it's just something that's been kind of in the back of my mind. But Apple is kind of the one that I'm just like, I don't need another peppy. Like, if I'm going to get rid of one of these, it's got to be one of these two. And even, I mean, I'm still on the fence between Vivian and Blair. Blair, I obviously brought in voluntarily, but Vivian's just kind of worked out in the context of the island. So I'd feel bad about getting rid of her too. So it's like, I don't know. It feels like Apple's the one where it's like, maybe I need to get rid of her. But here's the thing. I still don't like where her house is at. In fact, I want to use that as a special area. In fact, there's actually a lot I want to do when it comes to decoration, but I kind of need to clear everything out here really quickly. So we got Apple's house over here, and then it's just kind of trees. I mean, this is where Marina's house was. In fact, her water pump is still there. I need to move that. But then we have this whole space up to by the museum that is just a total blank slate outside of a couple of rocks that have just happened to spawn here. And then we've got Kyle and Vivian's old stomping grounds. Well, Vivian's old, Kyle's current, but today will be his last day there. And that's this area. Now, I know exactly what I'm going to do with this particular area. This is going to be a bit of an open, like, I don't want to say playground, but like a park area more than anything. I'm going to be putting down a whole lot of the plaza equipment down here, moving a lot of trees around and whatnot. and kind of making this a bit more of an open space. But as far as like the area by the museum goes, there are a couple of different options I'm thinking of, and the one I'm leaning on the most is something I kind of do on every island, is just because there's a lot of like outdoor, like Zen-looking stuff that are in this game. For some reason, Animal Crossing New Horizons just really went hard on like the Zen furniture and the Zen outdoor items and the very just peaceful looking. You got like the rock pools, and you got bamboo you can put everywhere, and all sorts of different like old and mossy statues and whatnot and things of that nature, which kind of fits in with the museum theme at least a little bit. Like I've got a bit more going on up here by the museum. You can see I got like the fountain and the flower beds, and I've even got like a statue outside, and I also have a fully put together T-Rex out here, which is not a big deal because I already have a completed T-Rex inside as well. I'm going to do a little bit more with this space as I get more things. I would like to have honestly, at least a couple things from every single exhibit out here when possible. I just need to get all of the desired items, but you kind of get the idea of what I'm going for with the museum. But down here, I want to kind of put together like sort of a path and something special around here if possible. Maybe give it like a little bit more personality. Like, yeah, it can be a little bit of a tranquil area, but I don't know, maybe we can set up like a little bit of a shop somewhere, or maybe we could put like a little bit of a restaurant, probably down here in this area, or possibly even down on the below portion of the cliff. And I mean, these are just all thoughts that are in my mind. Obviously, a lot of this still hinges on the DIYs and furniture that I am trying to get, which I have been working tirelessly on for the past month or so, mainly just kind of hopping between here and Happy Home Paradise and just hoping that I can find a lot of the furniture that I want, as well as collect all the DIYs that I can. But it has been a work in progress, and obviously I still need to work on the paths here. I still need to make a through road over here all the way up to this section right here, which that will all be done once I move the bamboo trees out of the way, which I'm kind of erring on putting those up by the museum. It's a lot. In case it wasn't obvious, it's a lot. But we're not going to do that on screen today, obviously, because that would be absurd. No. We're going to start today, after that long-winded explanation, by actually, I'm going to be trying to take a chance right here on camera, okay? I am exactly one fossil shy of a completed fossil exhibit as of right now. I saved up a bunch of fossils, turned them all in at once, and I was able to get all but one last missing piece, and I'm going into the wrong menus here. Now, I still have a few fossils left over, and I have the ones I've collected today, and I've also got part of a mammoth because I actually kind of want to complete that and put that somewhere, but I don't know, we'll see. But I'm going to take all of these fossils, and fingers crossed, everybody, that we are able to get the very last piece with ones that we have. The odds are honestly not in my favor, but we're going to go give it a shot and see if this actually pans out. Now, a couple more things that I want to touch upon. We are going to do one more episode here on Moreau before the end of August. In fact, I think what we're going to do is the next episode is actually going to be another Moreau episode, and then the one after that will take us back to Happy Home Paradise, because we still need to do an episode going over the last of the things here in August, as far as like bugs and fish and deep sea creatures and whatnot, which I'm pretty sure we're honestly good as far as my Critterpedia is concerned. It's really September where things are going to get wonky. However, that aside, I also want to show a more completed product when it comes to the infrastructure around here, and I wasn't able to get it in time for this episode. And given that I've already taken a week off between videos, at this point I was like, you know what, I have to get this recorded. So that's why we're mainly doing this today. But we will do one more like end of August wrap up video, and that will be the one that's like, okay, this is where everything's exactly where it needs to be, and we've moved things around, and I'll probably start working on even getting a new villager moved in, but I still have to decide on who or what that is going to be. But let's start by turning in all these fossils, and let's see. Come on, Blathers, give me good news. More than what I see. No! Oh, man, I was really hopeful. Well, unfortunately, all that means is that we are going to have a lot of, well, I guess not unfortunately, but that means I'm going to get a whole lot of bells out of these things. Now, I guess, can I at the very least have gotten the mammoth torso out of this so I can finish that, fossil? Nope, I couldn't even get that much. All right, well, let's head on down here and let's actually show this really quickly, because we basically have a completed fossil exhibit at this point. Now, if I remember correctly, the only one is in the other room. Yep, this whole room is done. So we are, the first room is complete with all the fossils that I have turned in. If I'm remembering correctly, I think we're just missing like one on the smaller side. I want to say it's like the Spinosaurus or like the Triceratops or something along those lines. No, it's not the Triceratops. What is it exactly? Oh, yes, it is. It is you. It is the Spinosaurus tail. That is the only thing that we are still missing left in this entire fossil exhibit, and as soon as we're able to get that, I can call it quits here, and I mean, basically just farm fossils for money at this point. That's really all that the fossils are worth anymore, which they do sell for a lot of bells, so it's not too bad. Speaking of money, I have been hell-bent on trying to get myself, try to get lucky on the turnip exchange, and I have just had the worst time trying to get lucky with that thing. I have not gotten any good patterns with the turnips whatsoever. This last week I got a decreasing pattern, which just sucks. And I've basically decided, like, right now, like, look, I am not going to even... I've got a lot of money right now. I think I have like 1.7 million bells in the bank or something like that at the moment. And I know I'm only like 800,000 away from being able to get the next storage upgrade. But I'm putting my foot down at this point. Listen, I have like half of my storage space still available right now, which means that it's going to take a very, very long time to fill all of that up. And I am putting my foot down. I am not going to be continuing towards that upgrade anymore until I'm able to hit big on the turnip exchange. I will try every week if I have to for the next few months, and until I can get a large spike and it can actually convey, I am not going to be putting all my money away, because what I want to do is every single Sunday, for as long as I keep trying it, I want to be able to put at least 500,000 bells into the turnips to then see the turnaround on that. That is the goal. I'm not going to be spending any less than that on turnips. However, I will still at least try to accumulate money on bugs for this, what do we got, week left of summer before obviously we can't catch those really valuable insects anymore. So that is going to be the plan. And speaking of that, I want to say I've got like 23,000 Nook miles, which will get me all of the tickets that I could possibly need to continue working on that. But all right, let's head on into the Able Sisters. We got a few things to do today. We're actually not going to stop by Nook's Cranny because I've already done that, and I actually bought everything that was available in there today. So we can head on inside and let's actually talk to Sable today. We haven't done that yet. Welcome, Levi. Sorry that as usual I can't really stop and chat. We're always a little short-clawed around here, so it's just the two of us running the place. I think we told you that our other sister, Label, used to work with us at our old shop. Now she's on her own, working hard to be a big-time fashion designer, and we couldn't be prouder of her. And before that, for a while, Label was training with a famous designer. It's been a long time since the three of us lived under one roof, but those were good times. They really were, weren't they? There was always so much going on, for better or worse. Mabes, remember when you ate that ice cream that Label had hidden behind the peas? Oh, she was mad. Hey, come on, sis, not in front of Levi. We'll call that payback for last time. In any case, it's a little sad that we're back to living apart again. But more than anything, we both want to do whatever we can to support our sister and her dreams. Absolutely right, sis. After all, any dream of Label's is our dream, too. Oh, what a bunch of sweeties. So, yeah, there's a little bit of a harkening back, actually, to Animal Crossing City Folk, of all games, because, yes, that is where Label was training under a quote-unquote famous fashion designer, who is not in this game, but is in previous Animal Crossing games, known as Gracie. Label was her assistant slash, like, secretary, if I remember correctly. And in City Folk, she actually owned a very specific, like, furniture and clothing designer shop that you could go to. And it had some of the most valuable items in the entire game. And Label was the person that would help you around the store. So that's all pretty cool. I like that they have a little bit of a reference to that. I am going to fly off to Harv's Island today because if you remember correctly, the last time we were here on Harv, I was going to say on Moreau, but no, technically on Harv's Island, we opened up another co-op, and we are going to be doing the same today, but we also need to see the fruits of our endeavors in opening that co-op as well before we get back to kind of making our way around the island and taking care of a few other additional things. I actually haven't done my, I still haven't done my, what is it? Yeah, my island tour of the day yet, although I think I'm actually going to save that for later so I can get a little cheaper chance at some really valuable insects. Okay, you don't have anything of note, do you, Red? No, these are both fakes right here. I'm going to actually just, well, actually, how much money do I have on me right now? Yeah, I'm going to buy this just outright really quickly. It's wrong. It's not supposed to have that section in the center. Like, it's that middle loop. But I'm going to buy it anyway just so I can clear out his stock for one more day. Because Sunday is the last chance to check it before it all refreshes. So maybe we can get something different that day. But let's head on down here and let's talk to Harv. Cheerio, Levi. Did I do it right? Ah, sorry. I've been trying out my accent to impress Kix here. His shop is now open. Hoy, it's you from Bro, isn't it? I thought so. Good to see you, mate. Well then, anytime I'm not there, I'll be here. I've been looking forward to doing business with you, chum. Now, I've never been a cool cat. In fact, I'm a dog, but even old Harv can tell that Kix's shoes are neato. Aha, well, that's enough endorsement for me. I hope you give Kix a warm welcome. Now, okay, I've talked about this before with Kix, where I don't really like his inventory all that much, but the good news is that the inventory that Kix brings to the island and the inventory that he has here are two separate inventories. So if he ever visits you, you can always come here and see what else he has instead. So we can still go get shoes, socks, bags, all that kind of stuff. Take a look and see what we have here. We got kitty sneakers, wrestling shoes, power boots. That just makes me want to dress up as Master Chief, to be honest. We got a pleather handbag. Let's see, panda backpack. Not really, again, nothing that's really my style. I think I'm going to buy the power boots just because they're kind of hilarious, but I obviously don't want to spend too much money because I need to have at least 100,000 bells to open up the final co-op here on Harv's Island, which we are obviously going to do today. So let's say nope. And now I'm going to head on over here. We got Reese Cyrus up there. Sahara, I've already checked her inventory. I've already gotten everything there, so I'm not going to worry about that. A good friend, we are accepting donations for fund a mysteriously accurate fortune teller. Our goal is 100,000 bells. Wow, that's actually a big chunk of the donations. I don't even have to pay all that much. Sweet. And we have procrastinated this long enough. It is time. That's about as much help as you're ever going to get in a co-op, but I will take it. And there we go. So our final co-op is ready to go. So we will get to meet her the very next time that we are here. So that's pretty exciting. But I suppose, why don't we send this off by talking to Harriet today? Got an idea for a hairstyle I've been dying to try out. Let's give it a try. Let's see what she's got. It's going to be something new because I think I've only gotten like 3 hairstyles from her. Although I'm almost assuredly not going to keep whatever she gives me next. So let's see what it is. Just to kind of open up our options here. And, oh, yeah, no, that's not staying. That is definitely not staying. That's the Abby haircut. Nope, not going to keep that. Nope. No, thank you. Not a fan of the style, but luckily she's able to put me right back to normal, and we will take it. Cool, thanks. Okay. I can't believe how long I've stuck with this exact haircut. Honestly, though, it's been, like, genuinely useful, like, keeping this haircut, because it's, like, the perfect way of, like, metering out exactly how far I need to walk to catch certain bugs. So, like, I talked about this, my strategy before, where I just line up the spikes of my hair on the bugs with the palm trees, and I know when I'm exactly in net swinging distance. It's actually kind of nice, but obviously I'm not going to have to worry about that too much more once summer comes to an end. So maybe I can change up my hairstyle a little bit here and there and start messing with that a little bit more. I noticed I was wearing the same clothes for the last several episodes, so I decided to finally change that up today. I actually got a new shirt from one of the seasonal events. So I got that. It says Tomat on it, and then I got my La Isla hat on, which is pretty darn cool. So a little bit something different than what I've been normally wearing. I don't know. I liked the last Get Up a lot. I still like it. In fact, I might go back to it here and there because it just is probably the closest to my style that we've been able to find thus far. But okay, now the next thing that I want to touch upon is going to be decorating here, and also mainly flowers. So it is time. We are finally at the stage where I'm going to start moving flowers around. Now, I have all but given up on purple pansies because those just fail to cooperate no matter what I do. I'm going to hold out a tiny little bit of hope that the one purple pansy I got can duplicate into more purple pansies. So I'll have to get a little bit creative with that one in particular. Just like leave it out in spots where it can multiply on its own. But everything else is pretty much set. So take a look at our mums over here. We have our 3 green mums as well as 4 purple mums, or 5 purple mums. So we're pretty much good on those. We got our black roses, purple windflowers. Again, I have not been able to get more than just this one pansy. So that's been really, really frustrating. But now we are going to start moving flowers around. So there's a lot of flowers that I want to... I actually am going to be getting rid of because we do have an excessive amount. I'm going to be putting a lot around my house, certainly, just to kind of add to everything. I need to give myself some more room. I need to move a lot of trees around. This whole area is going to get customized a little bit, but what's not going to get messed with at all is going to be this area. And as I walk through here, you might actually notice that the frame rate is literally dipping. It's because I have so many freaking wheat fields put down, but I'm running this through my entire farm area, just kind of as an in-between right here. And this is going to go basically all the way up to the grain silo. And then I'm actually going to end it right at this little last stretch of walkway right here. So I'm still filling this in with wheat fields and whatnot. And I'm even going to put some back there behind the fence line and whatnot. But once all of that is done, yes, this is going to cause the frame rate to dip in this area just a little bit, but it's not too bad. And the main reason I want to actually have all of these is because... So, okay, I probably should just go and talk to Isabelle, and then we can actually explain how this works. So, Isabelle is in charge of the rating of our island, and we're trying to get to a 5-star rating eventually. Now, there is a nice balance of things that you're going to have to get a good rating. You need to have no trash. You need to have a nice assortment of greenery from trees and flowers. You need to have a lot of things put down, a lot of decorations. There are certain things that give you higher decoration points than others. I know fences in particular boost your decoration stat quite a bit, but you can't have too much of these things or you get in charge for having too much clutter. Now, I am probably fine, honestly, where I'm at the moment when it comes to the number of trees and flowers I have right now, but I need to get rid of a lot of them to make way for more decorations. Now, to offset this, that is why I'm putting the wheat fields down, because each of those counts as an outdoor furniture item. And because I don't want to put down too many decorations, I also don't want to get pinged for having too much clutter. I also, at the same time, want to be able to leave myself plenty of space to put down flowers and trees. Now, my plan is to give not everybody, but almost everybody their own sort of garden, if that makes sense. What I've got kind of going on over here, this part it's lined up, although it's not lined up all the way down, is I've got these kind of the 3 trees between each house. I'm going to be filling in these spaces with flowers. Quite a bit, actually. And we're going to kind of give them their own little spaces. But what I'm going to do is after I fill them up with flowers, they'll then be cut off by the borders of the paths here. And I'm also going to put in some blank spots up here so that the flowers can't proceed to grow onward all the way up in this direction. So pretty much going to just lock the flowers in so they have nowhere to grow except for the purple pansy, depending on where I put that. And I'm going to kind of do the same thing here with this area as well. I don't know about over here. I might put a few in the actual yards themselves, maybe give a few to Angus. I'm not going to do too many, though, when I'm putting them in the yards because those spaces are already so limited. I'm also going to probably put some more flowers down here. There are some other areas, like I could probably go up behind Tangy's house and whatnot and fit in some flowers, and then we'll have a bunch around our more open recreational areas, like when I make a plaza over here. Like, we're going to be moving a lot of flowers around, but really, those flowers do not go a long way in terms of the amount of space that they're going to take up. So they'll go quick. They'll get used quickly if I'm only using like a few of each color in each flower breed, if that makes sense. It'll all make sense in due time. But for right now, I feel like that paints a pretty good picture of how it's all going to work. But right now, we're going to go talk to Isabelle, and I am anticipating she's going to say I have a 3-star island right now. I'll be surprised if it's a 4, but I'm pretty sure she's going to say a 3. At the moment. And I already get the feeling that she's going to tell me I don't have enough furniture items put down, but we'll find out because she gives us feedback. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh man, I didn't even talk about these, did I? Wow, these got enacted forever ago too. We'll talk about this in a second as well. So Isabelle does mention something a long time ago, and I don't even think I actually showed it on screen, which is ordinances. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's start with Island of Owls. Here's about the current image of Moreau. Right now, Moreau, 4-star. Wow, I'm actually surprised about that. This is big. We're regular on many folks' lists of top 10 places they'd like to visit. Allow me to read an excerpt from the feedback that I gathered. This is a good island filled with good feet that know the value of a good rug. Visitations are pleasant. I'm guessing that was Sahara. Well, there you have it. According to recent feedback, the general sentiment is that this island lacks appealing scenery. Well, I think there's only one way to respond to this information. Decorate the entire island, head to toe or stream to sea. So, yep, exactly what I said. We are lacking in furniture items. Now, do not mistake, because you see appealing scenery and you're like, oh, must be trees. No, that is not the criticism for trees. Now, granted, I do think I am lacking some trees, but, and honestly, that is the one thing I worry about is getting criticized once I move too many of the trees. Because what I've been kind of doing is I chop down a fair few of them once I started to connect everything together and put some houses in. And then obviously when I moved plots around, that deleted some trees. But aside from that, I really have not chop down trees at all. I've mostly just been relocating the ones that the island already had to try to stay within the limits of what the game wants. But it's going to get to a point here soon where that's not going to be the case, and we need to find a right balance. Now, granted, I am also missing some palm trees on my beach right now because I've been using some of those to help myself catch more bugs, so I'll be planting those probably actually before today's over so that we can start growing more of those back. It says, I think you can create some pretty scenery memorable blisters if you use some fencing here and there. That's just an option she gives you. Again, I think fencing has a bonus towards the scenery, but I'm going to be honest, I've already put down plenty of fencing. I don't plan to put down more, so I'm going to mostly just need to rely on furniture items, but I actually need to fill in these empty spaces with things, which is going to take time and miles and DIY recipes and all that stuff. You get the picture. But at least we know we got exactly the feedback I was expecting to hear. Now let's talk about island features. Okay. Anything specific you'd like to talk about? Okay, I'm not going to touch the tune or the flag still because I still don't have anything for these just yet. Give me time. Let's discuss ordinances. Want to talk about ordinances for Moreau? Sure. At the moment, we don't have any ordinances on effect in Moreau. Enacting an ordinance means lots of paperwork. We'll need 20,000 bells as collaboration and filing fee. Do you want to get started and enact ordinance? Let's say yes, please. Which ordinance would you like to enact? So she's not going to actually charge us just yet. That's because we haven't actually picked an ordinance yet. Okay, we're going to talk about each and every single one of these. So we got Beautiful Island Ordinance, Early Bird, Night Owl, and Bell Boom. Now, these two are related to the time of when things typically happen. This is useful for people who only get to hop on the game at certain times of day. If you're only able to do this like early in the morning, let's say, before work or whatnot, like let's say you go into work like later at like 8 or 9 o'clock, but you're able to get up early. Generally, if you're getting on the game at like 6 or 7, that doesn't allow you to do a lot of the things in the game. So what's nice about the Early Bird Ordinance is that it actually allows shops to open up an hour earlier, and all villagers will wake up an hour earlier than their normal scheduled time. So Night Owl is, well, pretty much essentially the opposite. Shops close an hour later, and residents will go to bed an hour or two later. Now, the difference is that the Early Bird does not change the closing time, and the Night Owl does not change the opening time. Like, it's not like they go an hour later to compensate or an hour earlier to compensate. None of that. No. Same. Early Bird is different opening time, same closing time. Night Owl is same opening time, different closing time. Beautiful Island Ordinance. No cockroaches will appear, no trash will get fished up, weeds will grow less often, and villagers will water flowers more often. So if you're trying to get them to help you crossbreed your flowers more, if you're sick of the cockroaches, you don't want it to fish up any trash anymore, all that kind of stuff, this is the ordinance for you. And this is actually the one I am going to be picking, but I also want to mention the Bell Boom Ordinance. The cost of goods goes up, but so does the amount of money you make from selling items. So this is kind of a catch-22. Bell Boom Ordinance is honestly an ordinance I would enact if I was already at the stage of the game where I've got like tens of millions of bells in my bank account, because at that point you're not really worrying about how much you're spending, but every single thing you're turning around and selling is obviously giving you a whole lot more. Now at the moment I am not really selling anything to actual Nook's Cranny themselves, so the Bell Boom Ordinance isn't really going to help me, but later on this actually could be a lot worthwhile. But the problem is I'm in much more of a buying phase right now than I am in a selling phase, and that is exactly where you don't want to be with the Bell Boom Ordinance. Now the one good news is that this would give me a lot more money for like selling fossils, so if I'm constantly collecting and selling those all the time, that can be kind of nice. If I'm grabbing like constantly grabbing like deep sea fish and seashells and all that kind of stuff and selling all those, that can be kind of nice. But I am so hell-bent on filling out my Nook's Cranny catalog at the moment that honestly this would be nothing but a detriment to me. So I am going to go with the Beautiful Island Ordinance. We ask folks to pitch in with weeding, watering flowers, and clearing trash from our waters. I'd like to enact the Beautiful Island Ordinance? Yes, I would. So yeah, these are pretty nice, and they immediately start the next day, so we have those to look forward to. The fact that I'm never going to have to worry about cockroaches, well, that's not going to ever be an issue because I'm already jumping on this game every single day anyway, so that wasn't going to be a problem. The cockroach thing only is a problem if you put the game down for more than a week at a time. The weeds obviously can kind of be the same thing, but this just means that I have less weeds that I have to pick every day, because it is kind of frustrating walking around and then finding 2, 3, 4 patches of weeds every single day and having to waste a single inventory slot just plucking those up. And I know, first world problems, but it does get a little bit aggravating from time to time. And then, of course, the fact that they water flowers more, even though we're kind of at the point where that's not going to matter. I don't know. I just hope they water my purple pansy at this point. But all right, what time are we at? We're getting kind of close to the end of this episode. I just kind of want to like go around and sort of talk to our villagers a little bit more, get some more insights from them, just because we haven't done that enough in this playthrough. And Tangy, you are walking into a fence. Hi there, Levi. The bug off is harder than it looks. I'm going to maybe think about doing some training, so I'll be ready for the next one. So that's the first talk to her today. And then if I talk to her again, now she'll give me dialogue because that's the end of the bug off dialogue. Want to practice being pop stars together? Let's talk. Oh my gosh, I have something that'll go perf with your... Oh man, they do this all the time. I don't know what it is, but because I've been changing my wardrobe a lot more lately, I've been getting a lot more clothing gifts from villagers. It's like almost every single day. Let's talk to her one more time. She just cracks me up. She's so funny. As a soon-to-be singer-songwriter, producer, multi-hyphenate, wow, your vocabulary. I need to get my brand out there. Help me out, Levi. Can you casually spread some fab rumors about me? Viral marketing is so totally a thing that folks maybe still use in 2024. Well, I want some. Just tell folks stuff like, hey, you know, Tangy, she's a total virus. That's not a positive word. They're bound to remember me. All right, Tangy, well, I will go and tell Marina right now that you're a virus. Where did Marina go? She was around here somewhere. I don't freaking know. She probably wandered off towards the beach or something. Yeah, we'll see who we run into next. But yeah, the more we talk to our villagers, the better it's going to get. The more we're going to get out of them. Blair! You actually visited my house earlier. Bug catching was so much fun. Okay, yeah, next bug off can't come soon enough. Let's talk. Are you all ready? Tomorrow morning, the Happy Home Academy is... Oh, that's right. Tidying up, rearranging. I still haven't done anything with my house. That's going to be something I'm going to do once I get more furniture, too. Is everything all right? What's the latest? Punctuality is very important, darling. It's terribly rude to be late for an engagement. So I'm thrilled someone put up... Oh, that was me. See, it's 6:42 right now, which means I best get going because I have plans to meet... Oh, Nutlet. I've completely forgotten who I was supposed to meet. Well, you know, Blair, I mean, I appreciate your punctuality, but you could really work on some of your other manners, like, oh, I don't know, remembering what's important. It's okay, I forget those sorts of things all the time. This is why I keep notes and a calendar. Out for a stroll? Can we talk to you a little bit? Not getting up? Okay, well, you are very occupied by where you're sitting, and you enjoy sitting on the steps, so I suppose that's fine. Who else do we got out here? We actually should go into some houses, because I haven't gotten the DIY kit from any of the villagers inside just yet. I actually did one run of the bug off, and I gotta say, I did pretty well, Kyle. I actually found a Goliath beetle and a horned atlas, although obviously that wasn't on screen. But on my first attempt, I found both of those, even though those were the only valuable ones I found. You ever been to Angus's house? It's really nice, but it smells so much like herbal tea that it kind of freaks me out. Like, how much herbal tea do you have to drink for your whole house to smell like it? You know, that's a good question, Kyle. Why don't we go on and ask Angus, because I'm actually a little bit curious. His house does not strike me as having the smell of herbal tea, though. I would get that more from, like, Blair or Marina, possibly. Like, well, could be the plant, honestly, but that's not very tea-ish. Say your plants will thrive if you talk to them a whole bunch. See, it's true. I've been talking to my yucca. Yeah, I don't think that smell like tea, but, you know, whatever. What's up, Angus? What's the latest? That was kind of a weird question, but what do you expect? Imagine there's a fishbowl sitting in front of you. Now, what's inside the fishbowl? These are all terrible options. I would say a fish, but it's giving me an octopus, a snake, and a pile of garbage. I'm going to go with a snake. Okay, so this is one of those personality test things, and I've got your results right here. If you pick snake, that means you like cool, quiet places and keep them to yourself. Am I right? Of course I am. I like cool, quiet places myself, so I'm like a half snake at least. You know, I guess, honestly, you could not be more right. After all, I am just an introvert sitting in my room recording YouTube videos, so what could be more descriptive than a cool and a quiet place? Plus, I do actually keep it quite cool in here. All right, who else can we talk to? Just go around and say hello. I mean, that's the thing, is we're getting personalities out of our villagers, and I like that. We need to get more of this, because I honestly have not been interacting with them nearly enough since, like, the beginning of the series. Been ignoring them so much, and they definitely deserve more of the spotlight. What's up, Cranston? I always do one last fun thing every night before bedtime. Maybe tonight I'll play Lost Cave Explorer. I do have a cave like up by the cliff underneath my house if you want to go in there. Oh, no, sorry. That's when I get under my bed and crawl around in the dark. I find lots of treasures like toys and snacks. I usually set up camp in there and play for a while. I come out of the cave and the sun comes up. Grandpa taught me that game. The last one or the whole thing? Wait, hold on. I hope it's just the waking up part and not the crawling around in bed part. Cranston! Do you need to talk? Do you really need to... This got really dark really quickly. What's up, dude? Hey I had the weirdest dream last night. I dreamed I was at Grandma's house. She makes lentil soup that's so yum. I dream about it all the time. But last night she made me dream paschetti with a side of brownies. Yummy yum. Well, it sounds like at least half of your grandparents are wonderful. The other half I'm starting to seriously question, Cranston. I hope you're okay. I hope your grandma's okay. I think that's kind of where it ends, to be honest. All right, who else can we talk to? I think, is Agnes in? Agnes seems to be wandering. I think I saw her wandering around up here, but I think Vivian is inside. Thought I saw her walking back here. No, was that my imagination? I thought I saw like a shadow of some kind, but maybe not. All right, let's say hello to Vivian then. She's probably the one out DIYing it. She's been inside the whole time, even during the bug off, so probably her. No, actually. I'm really, really surprised. How you doing, Vivian? Last the weekend has finally arrived, although I still don't have plans. Well, I mean, you better have plans. Weekends is like when I only have plans. Now, see, the reason I'm doing like a second talk is because honestly, the first time you talk to a villager is generally when they have the most canned dialogue that you can possibly get from them that day. It's when you do the subsequent follow-up stuff, that's when they say interesting things. I'm doing some volunteering in my free time lately. Of course, it's not the kind of thing I go about around bragging about or anything, but I do sneak around pulling weeds and doing other little things here to there. Are you just saying that just because I enacted the beautiful island ordinance, Vivian? That seems a little bit sketchy to me. I'm sure the day will come when my good work brings big smiles to many faces. 'Cause, yeah, I didn't see you out pulling weeds before this, not gonna lie. Important for each of us here on the island to get to know one another better, don't you think? It'll help bring us together, darling. I'm sure of it. In fact, there's something I'd like to ask you if you don't mind. What is your favorite type of music, Piffle? I'm dying to know. Not classical jazz or chorale, or say something else. Oh, okay. It's going to actually let me pick. Well, in that case, I am going to say, and I'm going to do the generic response, even though there is a lot more nuance to it, and we're just going to say metal. Metal. Did I hear that right? You got it. That's what everyone's into these days. Metal. Well, actually, no. In fact, by almost definition, it is not what everyone is into. But seeing how you're so fond of it, Perez, Vivian, I don't know if you're going to like it. Don't just listen to generic metal, okay? Don't be like turning on Metallica thinking that's metal, especially not like modern Metallica. Maybe you could go with Black Album, and that's fine. But don't start there. Don't start there. You need to get into nuance. Like, there's plenty of metal out there that has clean vocalists, and then especially if you're like into pop and whatnot, it's not for everybody. You might want to go with something a little bit harsher possibly, but maybe not too harsh, something that's got a mix of clean and metal. I mean, metalcore's kind of got you there, but if you like more cleans, maybe you want like power metal or symphonic metal. You can even get a little bit of that of black metal if you like super dark themes, but you really got to be picky with the kind that you get. Otherwise, a lot of it's a lot more screechy, and okay, I'm not going to go on a metal diatribe. Kind of already did. Oh, that's right. I forgot I invited a villager today. I should probably go talk to them. It's not a villager that I am going to be having move into our island, though. In fact, it is just a generic, unnamed sisterly villager because I am currently hunting for a very specific DIY recipe that only sisterly villagers give, but I will make sure that I take care of that off screen. Okay, so I want to talk about a couple more things here. I do have somebody who has volunteered to give me the last 2 fruits that I am in need of for the orchard. But I want to talk about that really quickly. So first of all, I have this little space that I've been working on up here, and this is all cute and all, but I'm probably going to end up moving it or doing something else with it a little bit later because it's nice, but I think I need to move some things around here or possibly move the orchard itself into a bit of a different spot just to, honestly, I could probably move it like down here somewhere. Because, I didn't even touch upon the last thing that I wanted to talk about when it comes to villagers, but we'll do that in a second and I'll get into it. But yeah, I think I might move the orchard maybe possibly down here into this area, and then I'm obviously going to dig up these stumps because these aren't needed anymore. We really don't need these. I've gotten every single stump bug that I could possibly get, at least for this time of year, I think, period. But yeah, somebody is going to give me apples and cherries, and then we should be good to get all of the fruits in the game, which would be great because then I'll start being able to craft DIY fruit baskets on top of the veggie baskets that I've been making. So should be able to get a lot more cash that way as well. That should be conveying here in the next few episodes, possibly. I'm not 100% on that. I'm not going to put any pressure on that person. Not that they would know because this is being recorded so far in advance that it doesn't really matter. But that is probably going to be happening relatively soon. I've also been debating making some changes to our campsite here as well because it's very minimalist at the moment. I honestly think I might end up moving it up by the museum in that open space. I'm still not 100% on that. We will see. but then claiming the space as my own. The reason for this is because the odd villager out, which is currently Apple right now, I want to do something a little bit sentimental with that. Okay, everybody's got their villagers that they remember from the very first time they played Animal Crossing, the villager that they resonated with the most. And I mean, I can't speak for Animal Crossing New Horizons players in that regard, because this is obviously not where I got my start, but I can speak for pretty much anybody who started with Population Growing, Wild World, or even City Folk, possibly even New Leaf, and say that back then villagers, there was a lot that made you connect with the villager. I feel like one of the major things was, especially back in the old games, was you had absolutely no control over whether or not a villager stayed or left, and there was always a chance that one of the villagers that you had at the start of your island. Actually, in fact, I think it was a guarantee. There was always going to be a villager that the game would handpick, at least one that would never, ever, ever leave you. They would stay there for the end of time, never move out. And my original island, my original population growing island that I started all the way back in 2002, to this day, has 3 of those villagers that have never moved. And one of those villagers I have had in Wild World, City Folk, not New Leaf, I think, but I've also had on my personal island in New Horizons, and so they are very, very sentimental to me, and I would like them to move here. The problem is that they are a bit of an overlap, much like Apple is a bit of an overlap with Tangy, because they have the same personality. This character is also a bit of overlap with one of our current characters, but I obviously don't want to supplant them. I just want to kind of add them, because I did say we were going to have duplicate personalities. The problem is, just to say it right off the bat, it is not going to fix our gender imbalance here, as we are probably going to still... It is a female character, so wanted to put that out there. But there is one character in particular that has been with me in every single Animal Crossing game, and they've always just kind of been a part of my Animal Crossing adventure, and so I do want to introduce them into this Let's Play, I think, finally. And that is going to be something that I will probably do here in the next few episodes, or next few days, actually, probably by the time you guys get the next episode, but we will obviously see. So with all that said, guys, thank you all so very much for watching. I feel like that was enough discussion on my plans. Next time, I promise, paths will be laid out, things will be moved around. No, the island is not going to be fully decorated, because I still have to get more furniture and whatnot. But I will at least have most of my stuff put down, everybody moved into place, and hopefully by that point, we should have our 10th villager in tow. That's going to more so depend on the luck of me getting the DIY recipe that I've been trying to get from the campsite, because if that doesn't work out, well, then it might take a little bit longer, but we'll obviously see. But that's going to be it for this one. Next time will be the last episode, the final hurrah to summer, because in this game, seasons do not end or start on a specific day. Well, they do, but it's more weird. It's not like the same as real life. Generally, we're going to hit fall the second September begins. And yeah, we have still a few things left to do yet before that all happens. So thank you guys all so very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this episode very, very much, and I will see you all in the next one.